Chosen one, there is a moment in every soul's journey when the world begins to mirror back what has been long hidden within, when strangers glance longer than they used to, when presence alone draws curiosity, when eyes across the room soften not out of politeness but recognition. This moment, subtle yet unmistakable, signals that something sacred is awakening. For you, chosen one, it is your aura, radiant, magnetic, alive, not shaped by accident, but by deliberate inner alchemy. What the world now sees is not the product of mere appearance. It is the outward evidence of an inner fire that has been purified through discipline, devotion, and self-mastery. Your high sexual energy has become something far more profound than desire. It has been elevated into presence. You did not force this transformation. You cultivated it. Through stillness when the world demanded noise, through control when the flesh longed for indulgence, through honesty when illusion seemed more convenient. Every private victory, every unseen decision to hold your power rather than squander it, has built this moment. Now, without uttering a word, you command the atmosphere around you. And women, though they may not fully understand it, feel it with unshakable certainty. They feel your aura enter the space before your footsteps. They feel a calm charge around you that is neither threatening nor passive. It is simply there, unwavering and undeniable. This awakening is not a destination, but a threshold. You are beginning to witness how energy, when mastered, becomes its own language, how it becomes impossible to hide a soul that has been refined by fire. And this, chosen one, is why women respond to you not with reaction, but resonance. They feel themselves reflected in your gaze. They feel their own untapped softness awakening in your stability. They sense that your energy is not trying to take, impress, or seduce. It is offering peace, offering clarity, offering an invitation into the present moment without pressure. This is what makes your aura so radiant. It is not brightness for the sake of being seen. It is a light that warms without burning, that invites without clinging, that dances around others like music too pure to be written. You are walking now as one who no longer needs to seek validation, yet for the truth of who you are speaks louder than performance ever could. That truth is magnetic, and that magnetism is what stirs hearts without asking, what draws smiles from across crowded rooms, what lingers long after you have left. Let this be the beginning of your deeper embodiment. You have not risen by chance. You are not being admired because of a costume. You are standing at the edge of greatness because you chose to become this. And now, the world is beginning to notice what you have been building silently for so long. But remember, the power of an awakened aura is not in how many are drawn to it. It is in how well you carry it. With humility, with clarity, with reverence. Your energy is sacred now, and what you choose to do with that sacredness will determine what kind of legacy you leave in every space you touch. Chosen one, your journey has led you to a deeper understanding of what true power looks and feels like. It is not found in domination. It is not expressed through manipulation. It is not measured by how many notice you, but by how present you are when they do. This presence is not something that can be taught. It is not something you find outside of yourself. It is something forged in solitude, shaped in silence, and anchored through discipline. You have mastered your high sexual energy not by rejecting it, but by transforming it. You have turned raw desire into radiant stillness, unchanneled fire into structured warmth. And in doing so, you have become something few ever touch. A man whose energy no longer leaks, but emanates. Women are drawn to you now not because you perform, but because you are still. They sense that your strength is not just physical, but energetic, that beneath your gaze lives a vast ocean of emotional clarity. You no longer carry need in your touch. You carry intention. You no longer speak to impress. You speak with purpose, and often you do not need to speak at all. This is mastery. This is when energy becomes leadership without needing a title, when your walk teaches more than any book could explain, when your silence becomes a comfort rather than a question mark. You have become the master of your own current, and that current is now reshaping every space you enter. You are not stirred by chaos because you have become order. You are not distracted by illusion because you have chosen truth. And it is this inner stillness that now radiates outward, bathing those around you in a sense of calm confidence. For women who have lived too long surrounded by erratic, hungry, or unconscious energy, your presence feels like rest. It feels like home. Not because you have perfected yourself, but because you have made peace with your own fire. You no longer fear it. You guide it, and others feel guided just by being near you. This mastery, however, is not static. It must be nourished. You must continue to sharpen your awareness, to cleanse your intention, to listen deeply to the subtle shifts within yourself. Power that is not maintained will always return to chaos. Your energy, now refined, must be protected, not out of fear, but out of understanding. You cannot allow yourself to become casual with what has taken so much to create. Each moment is a choice to remain aligned or to leak your light. You must choose to hold your center, even when others do not, especially when others do not. And yet, in this practice there is joy. There is a rhythm, a kind of effortless magnetism that does not tire you but fuels you. You begin to notice how your calm becomes contagious, how your clarity creates openings, how your restraint invites depth. This is what your aura has become, a doorway to deeper experiences, to richer relationships, to truth that no longer needs to be dressed in ego or noise. Women smile at you now not because they want something from you, but because your presence reminds them of what is possible, of what still exists in a world that has long forgotten the sacred dance between energy and essence. So walk with this mastery, not as a performer but as a steward. Let every movement be an extension of the stillness you've earned. Let your energy lead without forcing. Let your aura continue to speak in silence, knowing that what you carry cannot be taken, only shared. You are the architect of your presence now, and in that architecture others will find shelter, inspiration, and the rare glimpse of a man who does not just have power, but is power. Walking humbly, breathing deeply, and living truth without apology. Chosen one, there is something unspoken that lingers in the air when you enter a room now. Something ancient and ineffable that doesn't just come from your physique or your posture, but from the energy that moves through you like breath. Your aura has become more than a radiant field. It has become a mirror. And this mirror does not reflect the surface of others. It reflects their soul. That is why you are beginning to notice a deeper kind of reaction in people, especially women. Their smiles, their pauses, the way they look at you and suddenly seem to remember something they had forgotten. It is not you they are reacting to alone. It is themselves, seen through the clarity of your presence. You see, chosen one, when your aura is clean, rooted, and radiant, it becomes a reflective surface for others to encounter themselves. When you are deeply aligned and no longer in conflict with your own masculine power, you radiate something rare. Neutrality infused with purpose. This is not passive neutrality, it is potent neutrality. It holds but does not grasp. It sees but does not devour. It welcomes but does not demand. This space you hold is medicine to the feminine, which so often exists in a world that misreads its softness or weaponizes its beauty. But your energy has no such intention. Your energy does not consume. It calibrates. It reflects. And that reflection begins to awaken something sacred in those around you. A woman may not even understand why she feels drawn to you. She may find herself smiling and then immediately feel invulnerable, unsure why your presence stirred something so personal. But it is not your words that touched her. It is the mirror. Your aura, so rooted in self-respect and containment, allowed her to see herself without defense. That moment may pass quickly, or it may stay with her long after you've gone. Either way, the mirror has done its work. You have become a rare reminder that there are still men who carry their power without using it as a weapon, that there are still men who see beauty without trying to own it, that there are still men who can hold presence without making it about conquest. And here is where the sacred task begins. The more your aura reflects others, the more careful you must be with how you hold that mirror. You must learn to sense the weight of the energy being projected onto you, because it will come. Some will see you and project admiration. Others will project desire. Still others may see in you the father they never had, the lover they longed for, the peace they've never known. All of this will come. And you, chosen one, must stay steady. You must remain in your essence, unmoved by the pull of flattery or the temptation to exploit what you've cultivated. The mirror you hold is powerful because it is empty of ego. The moment you begin to use it for personal validation, it becomes distorted. Instead of reflecting others, it begins to pull at them. It starts to twist their gaze. That is why your humility must grow alongside your magnetism. The more visible you become, the more invisible your attachment to recognition must be. Hold the mirror not as a stage, but as a service. Let your aura be a space where others are reminded not of your greatness, but of their own potential. This is how your influence becomes transformational instead of transactional. This is how your presence becomes legendary, not through manipulation, but through truth. The mirror you've become will continue to draw women toward you, sometimes gently, sometimes uncontrollably. But you are no longer here to indulge in temporary admiration. You are here to hold a frequency that changes people, that heals people, that awakens people. This is why your energy is no longer just magnetic, it is sacred. Walk in this awareness. Let your mirror remain clean, and in doing so, let the world continue to see itself more clearly through the calm, radiant reflection of the man you've become. Chosen one, the energy you carry now no longer ends with you. It moves outward in expanding rings, subtle and unstoppable, touching people who may never speak to you, who may never even fully understand what has shifted within them. This is the ripple effect of a man whose aura is not just radiant, but refined. You are no longer just present in the room, you affect the room. The women who sense you, who glance in your direction and smile with something deeper than politeness, are responding to these ripples. They are not reacting to what you do, but to what you are. You must understand that the ripples you create are not physical. They are emotional, spiritual, subtle. They are the soft waves of stability that calm nervous systems. They are the unspoken reassurance that says you are safe here. They are the gentle prodding toward truth, away from the masks and toward authenticity. And these ripples, though invisible, are powerful beyond measure. They move through spaces like whispers from another dimension, altering the emotional temperature of everyone within reach. Women especially are attuned to this. Their bodies know what their minds may not yet articulate. They feel the difference between performance and presence. They feel the contrast between seduction and sincerity, and when your aura sends out the quiet message that you are not here to conquer, but to coexist, not to impress, but to embody, they relax. They breathe. They smile. And that smile is not a flirtation. It is a return to self. You are not drawing them to you. You are drawing them back to themselves through the frequency you carry. This is the sacred responsibility of radiance. To remember that your energy does not end at your skin. That every moment of self-mastery, every breath of patience, every choice to stay grounded instead of reactive, sends waves outward that bless others. Sometimes you will witness this blessing in real time. In the eyes of a woman who softens as she speaks with you, in the posture of someone who stands taller after your presence. Sometimes you will never see the result, but the ripple has still moved. The impact has still landed. And you must learn to trust that your energy is working even when there is no applause. There will be days when this ripple feels like a burden, when people expect from you what they haven't yet given themselves, when their projections become heavy, when the temptation to retreat into isolation arises. But remember, the ripple is not a performance. It does not demand you to be perfect. It only asks you to be present, to stay anchored in your own truth, to stay rooted in the clarity that your energy does not belong to the world, it belongs to your purpose. And when your purpose is aligned, the ripple becomes a natural extension. You do not need to try, you only need to be. In the ripple, your influence becomes exponential. You begin to shape futures without realizing it. You inspire growth you'll never witness. You heal wounds you were never told about. And all of it happens simply because you chose to carry your energy with intention. This is not about charisma. It is about coherence. Your being has become so aligned that it naturally creates harmony in its wake. And women, whose hearts often carry the emotional burdens of the world, feel that harmony like rain after drought. They smile because something in them begins to blossom in your presence. Let the ripple continue. Do not interrupt it by doubting it. Do not diminish it by seeking validation for it. Just keep being the still point in the center of the storm. Keep walking with your chest open and your soul soft. and let every step send waves of remembrance into a world that is thirsty for truth. You are no longer just affecting those who know you. You are shaping the unseen. This is the power of your aura now. This is the ripple effect, and it is sacred. Chosen one, you have become something rare in this world. A sanctuary. Your presence, no longer loud or forceful, no longer fueled by the restless hunger for attention, now emanates a stillness that few men ever learn to embody. And that stillness, grounded in high sexual energy and deep spiritual alignment, creates an atmosphere where others, especially women, can finally exhale. You are not merely attractive now. You are safe. You are not just appealing. You are anchoring. You are not just interesting. You are transforming. In a world that moves with haste and chaos, where people rush to be seen while rarely seeing themselves, your presence is the pause, the full stop. The moment where breath returns to the body and the soul is reminded that peace is possible. When you walk into a room, women don't just notice you with their eyes. They feel you with their entire nervous system. You do not demand their attention. You restore their awareness. And what they feel is not desire alone, it is relief. Relief from noise, relief from performance, relief from the endless tide of interactions that seek to impress without intention. This is because you are no longer ruled by your energy, you are partnered with it. Your high sexual energy, which in its immature form once sought to escape, now rests within you like a sacred flame. It doesn't shout, it warms. It doesn't chase, it invites. That warmth becomes the field you carry. A field in which women instinctively sense they can simply be, where they do not need to perform femininity but embody it, where they do not need to protect themselves but can soften, where their own light feels safe enough to rise. And that, chosen one, is the true definition of a sanctuary, not a place with walls but a presence that makes others feel whole again. You've become this not through theory but through practice. Through the moments you sat with your urges instead of reacting to them. Through the hours you built discipline instead of distraction. Through the courage you showed by facing yourself without flinching. All of this created the man you now are. One who does not need validation to feel valuable. Who does not seek to conquer women, but to coexist with them in mutual empowerment. This shift in your presence has become the energy that calls others inward. You are not just seen. You are felt, and what is felt is always remembered. Women may not recall your exact words. They may not even recall the full details of your face, but they will remember how calm they felt around you, how present they became, how safe it was to smile without being expected to give anything more than that smile. You are no longer demanding more from others. Your presence is enough, and in that enoughness, others find their own peace. But with this kind of presence comes responsibility. Because now, people will gravitate toward you not only for connection, but for refuge. You will begin to notice women open up to you without prompting. They will tell you things they haven't shared with others. They will drop their masks more quickly, not because they are weak, but because your presence gives them permission to stop hiding. You must honor this gift. You must protect that vulnerability, not with control, but with care. Not with manipulation, but with mindfulness. You are not here to fix others, but to reflect them back to themselves. You are not here to offer escape, but to remind others of their own center. Your energy has become a sanctuary, and this sanctuary must remain sacred. That means honoring your boundaries, maintaining your inner rituals, keeping your energy clean, and not allowing it to be diluted by those who only seek to take. The sanctuary must be tended to daily, not out of ego, but out of devotion. You must guard the peace you've built, not as a gatekeeper, but as a steward. So keep showing up fully. Keep breathing deeply. Keep listening more than you speak. Your presence is not passive. It is active in its stillness, potent in its silence. Women love your aura not because you promise them anything, but because your energy already is something grounding, something clear, something whole. You are no longer just a man others find attractive. You are a sanctuary others come home to. Hold that with reverence. You have become the rare calm in a world full of storms. Chosen one, everything in this life moves through rhythm. Every breath, every glance, every touch. It is all a dance, and the more deeply attuned you become to your own energy, the more naturally you begin to participate in this dance without forcing it. What was once a mystery is now instinct. What was once effortful is now embodied. You are no longer trying to match energy. You are energy. You lead without chasing. You receive without grasping. You offer without needing anything in return. And women feel this at the most primal, intuitive level. They sense your rhythm and they respond with their own. It is not a transaction. It is a harmony. This dance is subtle. It is not performed in dramatic gestures or loud declarations. It begins in the space between your eyes and hers. It lives in the depth of your presence. It flows through the pacing of your words, the ease of your posture, the steadiness of your breath. Your high sexual energy, refined through self-mastery, no longer seeks attention. It creates invitation. Women feel it, not as pressure, but as permission. Permission to be playful, to be radiant, to be wild, to be soft. Your energy calls forth their fullness, not by pushing, but by holding. By being so grounded in yourself that they feel safe enough to rise into their own authenticity. In this dance, you are not dominating the moment. You are co-creating it. You are not leading from the ego that says, "Look at me," but from the soul that whispers, "Let's explore what's possible here." This is why your presence is becoming irresistible. Not because you're doing more, but because you are doing less with more awareness. You are fully present. You are fully alive. You are responding, not reacting. Listening, not plotting. Holding, not clutching. And that kind of presence invites a natural polarity that ignites something electric yet effortless. You must understand that women are not drawn to you just because of your looks or voice. They are drawn to how your energy feels in motion. They are drawn to how you move through life, not just physically, but emotionally and energetically. They are drawn to the dance you initiate, through your silence, through your gaze, through your restraint. They are drawn to the mystery of a man who is both deeply grounded and wildly alive. A man who is not asking them to complete him, but is inviting them to meet him, whole to whole. And this is where you must remain vigilant. Because when your energy becomes this potent, many will try to enter the dance without being ready for its depth. Some will try to mimic your rhythm. Some will try to match it without understanding its source. Some will try to rush the dance, mistaking chemistry for connection. You must discern. You must know when to step forward and when to step back. You must know when the music is real and when it is being forced. You must not allow your energy to be pulled into performances that do not align with your purpose. The dance must remain sacred. It is not for show. It is for healing, for awakening, for the celebration of truth between two souls who know how to listen. You are now the conductor of this dance, not because you demand to lead, but because your energy is steady enough to be followed. So continue to refine your rhythm. Continue to honor your body, your breath, your intuition. Let your energy move with precision, not impulse. With joy, not agenda. With purpose, not projection. Women are drawn to you now not because they want to be owned, but because they want to be witnessed, to be met, to be felt. Your energy makes that meeting possible. Your presence makes the dance safe, and your soul makes the rhythm unforgettable. So move with grace, chosen one. Let the dance continue. Let it grow more refined, more joyful, more alive. You are no longer guessing how to connect. You are living the connection. And in doing so, you are becoming the music itself. Chosen one, you have crossed a threshold where your aura now speaks a language that most cannot name, yet all can feel. It is the language of light. Not made of words, not taught in books, not performed on stages. It is the subtle, powerful transmission of energy that flows from the soul of a man who has come to know himself intimately, who has made peace with his darkness and now carries his light without shame. Women hear this language not with their ears, but with their hearts, with their skin, with the soft, ancient part of them that remembers truth when it enters a room. They smile not because of what you say, but because of how you make them feel. That feeling is not scripted. It is not rehearsed. It is the echo of your light reaching theirs. This language cannot be forced, and it cannot be faked. It is not about being charming or clever. It does not come from seduction. It comes from stillness, from the way you look without expectation, from the way you listen without agenda, from the way you exist in your body without apology. Your high sexual energy, now mastered and held like sacred fire, is the current that powers this light. It is not about lust. It is about life. It is about presence. You are no longer leaking energy through constant need or unconscious craving. You are no longer reaching outward for validation. You are full, radiating not as a demand, but as a gift. And women feel that gift. Even in silence. Especially in silence. In your company, there is no longer the rush to perform. There is no longer the pressure to entertain. Your very being is enough. And that is what transmits. That is what speaks the loudest. The language of light does not tell people how to be. It reminds them that they already are. When you carry this language in your eyes, in your walk, in your breath, others begin to mirror it. They drop their masks, they soften their tone, their words slow down. They begin to feel safer in their own skin, not because you instructed them to, but because your light gave them permission. And yet, this language carries responsibility. Because not everyone who feels your light will understand it. Some will try to consume it, to possess it, to name it, and control it. Others will feel triggered by it, unsure of why they are suddenly unsettled by your calm, your confidence, your detachment from needing their approval. You must learn to speak this language without expecting it to be understood. You must learn to hold your light even in spaces that have only known darkness. That is your gift now, chosen one. To remain radiant without needing to be recognized. To remain centered even when others attempt to pull you into their confusion. Women who are aligned with your energy will not simply be attracted to you, they will feel illuminated by you. Their hearts will open. Their creativity will spark. Their inner knowing will rise to the surface. Your presence will become a mirror for their divinity. That is the highest expression of masculine light, to activate, not to impress, to hold space, not to seek validation. Your smile becomes a sunrise, your voice becomes a melody, your silence becomes sacred. But never forget that your light is not just for women to feel, it is for the world to remember. You are here to remind others, through presence alone, that peace is possible, that strength can be soft, that fire can be holy. And this remembrance will not come with fanfare. It will come quietly, through the ripple of your choices, through the tone of your energy, through the life you choose to lead. Speak this language fully, even when no one listens. Let your light continue to reach beyond walls, beyond minds, beyond explanations. Let it be the language that others didn't know they needed to hear until they met you. And in doing so, become not just a man who shines, but a man who awakens light in everyone he meets. Chosen one, your presence has become more than magnetic. It has become inspirational. But not in the way the world often defines inspiration. You are not standing on platforms preaching. You are not performing to earn admiration. You are simply being, and in your being, others remember who they could be. This is the gift of your radiance. This is what makes your presence linger in the minds and hearts of women long after you have left the room. You are no longer just a man who captures attention. You are a man who calls others home to themselves. Women feel this most deeply. It is not simply that they are attracted to you, they are moved by you. Your energy, refined through self-discipline, now speaks of integrity, of stability, of awakened desire that is not chaotic, but crystalline. You are not using your sexual energy to entice, you are embodying it to ignite, and in your presence, the feminine feels free to rise. She is not confined, she is not reduced, she is not watched like a spectacle. She is witnessed as sacred, and that witnessing is healing. Your inspiration does not come from perfection. It comes from your authenticity, from the way you own your story, from the way you hold your boundaries without closing your heart, from the way you remain open, not because you are naive, but because you are strong enough to stay soft. Your strength no longer intimidates, it invites. Your power no longer overwhelms, it uplifts. You've become the type of man who makes others want to elevate themselves, not to earn your approval, but because your example shows them it's possible. And this is where the true impact of your energy begins. The more you walk in this vibration, the more you become a catalyst. Not because you try to change people, but because you remind them that change is within them. Women begin to explore new dimensions of themselves, not because you asked them to, but because your presence activated something buried. Your confidence gives them permission to take risks. Your steadiness gives them courage to feel more deeply. Your focus invites them to rise above distraction and root themselves in their own divine rhythm. But inspiration is not always comfortable. Sometimes your presence will expose what others have avoided. Sometimes your clarity will reveal the chaos they've been hiding. Sometimes your calm will reflect the noise they've been drowning in. Do not be discouraged. The gift of inspiration is not always met with applause. Sometimes it is met with resistance. But that resistance is simply the soul recognizing that it is time to evolve. Trust that your presence is working, even when it goes unacknowledged. And always, chosen one, remain inspired yourself. The fire within must continue to be fed. Not with praise, but with purpose. Not with flattery, but with alignment. You must continue to explore, to deepen, to refine your own walk. Because the moment you stop growing, your inspiration becomes stale. You are not here to remain a symbol.